Hello again, my name is Christopher Coleman with another video with the Business Intelligence Group. I'm excited about this video because it's all about WNBA and the champions of the Commissioner's Cup, which is the Indiana Fever. And it was a great win because nobody expected them to win. And it was amazing to look at the game.
And to the 2025 Commissioner Cup champion, Indiana Fever.
But in this video, I want to talk more about the business aspects of the WNBA. And I got some notes here to kind of discuss some things that I had on my mind, just being a business guru, really enjoy business. And to be honest, one of the main reasons I start watching women's basketball and really trying to understand this new world was Unrivaled, that was championed by Nafisa Collier and Brianna Stewart, aka Stewie. And I thought this was a great business venture. One of the issues that a lot of WNBA players have is that of the low wages. They felt, they should earn a lot more money. And compared to what players could make overseas and national and international basketball, the wages are very low. And I think they should get paid more in that regard. Not as much as NBA players, but maybe more than the international leagues that are out there. And so one of the biggest issues that I see in the WNBA that needs to be fixed is a leverage problem, especially now where more players that are coming into the WNBA, they have more followers, they're more famous than the WNBA. So with that issue, players could make more money making YouTube videos. They can make more money with sponsorships, with social media. And so with the WNBA not paying players more than what players could make on their own, that is a huge problem in regards to leverage. And so with some of the new deals coming up with the, Players Association of the WNBA, they're going through negotiations. And with Caitlin Clark coming in, there's been more viewership. And this is a great opportunity for players to leverage that opportunity to negotiate better deals. Now, the issue with this is that to pay players more money, there needs to be more money coming into the WNBA. And how do you do that outside of concessions, outside of jersey sales, ticket sales? And one of the things is sponsorships. So the Commissioner's Cup is sponsored by Coinbase.
Thanks to Coinbase for being our presenting partner of our 5th annual Commissioner Cup Championship.
I think since 2021, they earned those rights. A lot of teams have sponsorships, but what the WNBA should do to strengthen the relationships with their players is facilitate the signing of sponsorships with their players. For a great example, you have Courtney Williams, a great point guard with the Lynx. She dyes her hair all these different colors. Why not facilitate a sponsorship with a hair dye company out there, maybe that's championed by women, women of color, whatever the case might be? Why can't the WNBA hire people that can lobby and facilitate these deals where maybe the WNBA can't pay more money, but they can facilitate these deals for their players? I think that's something that you should tap into. Another great example is some WNBA players, they have children. They go through pregnancy. I think there's some players now that are out because they are pregnant. And so there are a lot of companies out there that have, baby gear, whether it's cribs, whether it's strollers, whether it's car seats, whether it's milk formula, whatever the case might be. That is a great opportunity in a season for the WNBA to facilitate some sponsorships for WNBA players who are going through pregnancy. Whether it's shoes, some players, like in the NBA, you have somebody like PJ Tucker that has a new shoe every time the wind blows. So what if there's a WNBA player who loves shoes? You should facilitate sponsorship deals with a shoe company to develop, special shoes for these players. Maybe there's makeup, different players like makeup, clothing, and fashion. I think Lexi Brown, I think now she's with Seattle. She is always on Instagram. Have clothes from forget that fashion store. I forgot what it was, but you get the point. Begin to facilitate sponsorships with WNBA players that can supplement their WNBA salary. Now, a second thing that they should work on is really working out a deal with Nafisi Collier, Brianna Stewart, and the Unrivaled League. When you look at the NBA, and this is something I've never heard. This is from Chris Coleman from the Business Intelligence Group. You haven't heard this take, but I think just like the NBA has the G League, which is a development league for the NBA players who don't make it to the NBA or maybe not as talented to be in the NBA, they can still make some decent money in the G League, which is sponsored by Gatorade. And those players, they play a full schedule. They do something that they really enjoy, something they've been doing since they were little. And this is a job for them. And there's also opportunities overseas, of course. But the NBA saw a business opportunity to develop players before coming into the NBA. And there's, so many different examples of great players that were in the G League and now in the NBA who are very successful and really good at what they do. Van Fleet is a great example, and there's a lot of other players. But Unrivaled is a league for elite talent, but the same concept could apply. Instead of having a development league for the WNBA, which they could do, but having more in an elite league. So you have the NBA, but the G League is a step below. But what if you had the WNBA, where you had all of these great players, but then you had a league that was the best of the best that played 3-on-3 basketball, full court 3-on-3 basketball, where they make more money in the off season, and only way to get invited is to be an elite player during the season prior. And it's championed by Nafisi Collier and Brianna Stewart. That's their business venture. That's the money they put in. But what if the WNBA sat down and created an opportunity to bring in the Unrivaled League in the folds of the WNBA, which then would bring some unity, which would bring some more eyes? Because I started watching it because of Unrivaled. I think it's very unique from a strategic standpoint, being able to compete in terms of not athleticism with the NBA, but more on being able to work together as a unit to get the ball in the hoop. In the NBA, I honestly think a lot of these players don't know how to play basketball. Coming from someone who played football growing up, when I say not knowing how to play basketball, I mean basketball IQ.
Can you develop basketball IQ at the highest level? You can get a little smarter as a player. Can you develop it as at the highest level?
When you brought up basketball IQ, the first thing that came to my mind, I started thinking right away. I was like, are you born with basketball IQ, or are you taught the game the right way and now the basketball IQ clicks on? There's guys in the NBA that if you call a play or a coach draw a play to one side of the floor, they can't switch it in their head and do it and say, let's run it to the other side without the coach drawing on the clipboard.
Yeah.
I've never understood that. And I don't know. I never understood that. So if I say we're running thumb down angle, we're running on the right side. So because I have a left-hand point guard, he wants to come middle to a strong hand. He has the ability to hit the pocket pass with the left hand, has the ability to throw ahead, he's lefty, and also has the ability to throw back on the shake. But if I say, hey, we run a thumb down angle on the left side because now the right-hand guard coming right, I've had teammates that's like, oh, what do you mean? Coaches always, in practice, we only ran it from this side.
Yeah.
And so in the WNBA, I think they have a lot higher basketball IQ because they can't rely on the athleticism compared to the men. The men, you can go one-on-one. James Harden, a lot of these other players, they're very good in isolation basketball. And why would you want to learn how to play basketball if you can get your own bucket at will? You don't necessarily need a system. And for the sake of entertainment, it works. But for the WNBA, they're not high flying. They don't, unless you're Kelsey Mitchell, you don't have this breakneck speed of dribbling the ball. But it is fun and entertaining to see how they work together and use a system to begin to put the ball in the hoop. And so their spacing is a lot better, their movement is a lot better, their cuts are a lot crispier, and it is something where Unrivaled, they compete on being able to work together to get the ball in the hoop instead of just athleticism. And so that is something, the commissioner and the leadership in the WNBA should work with the leadership of Unrivaled to see if they can bring that into the fold as a way to increase the salary for some of the elite players, some of the players that are very influential, things of that nature. And so that's all I have today. I'm really excited about the business of the WNBA women's sports with, two little ones growing up who are, 3 and 2 respectively. I saw my daughter, she was basking the ball the other day, and I was like, man, like this is amazing. And I'm at this moment in time just to see where the WNBA is now. It's a great opportunity. I hope they don't fumble it. I think they really do need to look at Caitlin Clark as the golden goose that lays the golden eggs. Despite all of the controversy around Caitlin Clark, this has to be a business opportunity. The commissioner, she, was the CEO of Deloitte, spent many years there. So she knows what she's doing from a business aspect. She has a background in accounting, CPA. So from a business aspect, she knows what she's doing. But I think it's the execution, it's being able to get everybody on board. It's about, really leveling out the leverage between the league as well as players that's coming in to have more following. It's about sponsorships. How can I get more sponsorships? There's a lot of opportunity, but you need great people to come into the organization to help execute some of these ideas. Another great example, before I close this video out, is that there's a lot of universities and college who are studying journalism or social media marketing or film and things of that nature. You should do internships for college students around where a lot of these teams are located, to follow the players around, follow the teams around, to make documentaries, to make things that promote the league. The WNBA, when you watch the games on whether it's Amazon Prime or the League Pass, during halftime, a lot of times they have some history about the league, man, and I think that's great. I think that's a great idea, but I think you should double tap on that and really expound on that. I think you should follow players and really get to learn their story about how they came up, really interview different eras of the WNBA, talk to and interview these players so you can not just have one video during halftime, but you can show different aspects. And I think that will get the fans that are coming in up to speed of what the WNBA has been up to up until this point. Again, my name is Christopher Coleman with the Business Intelligence Group. This has been real. This has been fun. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.